On the first day of a new school, I sat in the wrong seat and the teacher let me stay there for the rest of the year because she said it suited me better. My name is Ethan, and I was the kind of kid who arrived early to things only to somehow still get everything wrong. It was the first day of 8th grade at Roosevelt Middle School. New building, new homeroom, new everything. My family had moved over the summer, which meant I was the new kid, the worst possible thing you can be at 13 years old. I had spent the entire night before memorizing bus routes and hallway numbers, convinced that if I could just not embarrass myself in the first 20 minutes, I would survive. I was wrong. I walked into room 14, Mrs. Hargrove's English class, 5 minutes early, which felt like a victory. The room was mostly empty. I picked a seat near the window, second row from the back, third from the left. It felt safe, invisible but not too invisible. I put my backpack down, pulled out a brand new notebook, and waited. Then kids started filing in, and slowly, I noticed something. A boy named Jordan slid into the seat in front of me, looked back, and said nothing. A girl named Sophia sat across the aisle and gave me a quick smile. Normal enough. But then I heard it. 2 boys near the door whispering, glancing toward me with that particular look that said, someone is in the wrong place. I had taken the seat belonging to a kid named Blake, apparently the unspoken, unassigned, completely made-up assigned seat of the most popular boy in the grade. Blake walked in last. He looked at me, looked at his seat, looked at Mrs. Hargrove. Mrs. Hargrove was maybe 50 with reading glasses she wore on a beaded chain and a habit of tapping her pen against her chin when she was thinking. She saw the whole thing unfold in about 3 seconds. I started to stand up. Sorry, I didn't know. She held up one hand. Sit down, Ethan. I froze. She already knew my name. She must have studied the roster. She pointed Blake toward an empty seat near the front without a word. He looked annoyed but sat. No argument. You didn't argue with Mrs. Hargrove? I spent that entire class period waiting for some consequence that never came. When the bell rang and everyone shuffled out, I hung back, ready to apologize. She looked up from her desk. Don't worry about it. That seat suits you better. I didn't know what that meant. I was 13. I said okay and left, but she kept me there. Every single day for the entire school year, I sat in that second to last row, window side, third from the left. Blake sat up front, and something strange happened. From that seat, I could see everything. The way Jordan doodled spaceships in the margins of every worksheet. The way Sophia mouthed words when she read, like she was tasting them. The way Mrs. Hargrove paused before asking the hard questions. A half breath, a small tilt of her head, as if she was deciding whether we were ready. I started writing things down, not just notes, observations, little details. It became a habit I couldn't shake. By October, Mrs. Hargrove had started calling on me more. Not because I was loud, I was never loud, but because when I answered, I apparently said things that were specific. She told my mother at conferences that I had a writer's eye. I didn't know what that meant then either. I know now. That seat was by the window. That seat was slightly removed. That seat gave me just enough distance from the action to watch it. And watching, I learned, was its own kind of participation. I'm 26 now. I write for a living. Nothing glamorous. Mostly long-form features and some personal essays. But it's mine. And every time I sit down to write something true, I think about that classroom, that window, that seat I stumbled into by mistake. Mrs. Hargrove is retired now. I sent her a letter 2 years ago. She wrote back actual handwriting on actual paper. And at the end she said, I knew from the first day, some students need the center of the room. You needed the edge of it. I've kept that letter in my desk drawer ever since. Sometimes the wrong seat is exactly where you were always supposed to be. Edit. I did not expect this to blow up. Thank you for all the kind messages. Mrs. Hargrove, if somehow you ever see this, thank you.